Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review Canary #1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, we got the cover here for Canary #1. It is a Comixology original comic, and it is by Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian. And we start off in the Utah Territory in 1891, where there has been a very gruesome murder. And we see our main character, Marshall Holt, at the crime scene. He is being told what happened by the local sheriff. It seems this boy named Johnny Apple walked in while this woman was giving a speech about becoming a state, and the boy just slit her throat in front of everybody and walked out. So Marshall Holt decides to go get the boy, and the sheriff warns him that his family, the Apples, are not a good bunch of people. Apparently, he's had run-ins with them in the past. So the sheriff offers some of his men to go with Marshall Holt, but Holt refuses, and he decides to go to the house on his own. And when he gets there, he is greeted by the father, who tells Marshall Holt that the marshal will not be taking his son, and that this is family business, and that the government needs to stay out of it. And while the dad and Marshall Holt are discussing, Johnny actually comes out of the door, and he seems enamored with Holt. Apparently, there's been dime store novels about him, so he's fairly popular with the people in the area. Mr. Apple interrupts the conversation between Johnny and Marshall Holt to tell Holt that they will not be leaving with him. This is not federal territory yet. He has no jurisdiction here. And in fact, they're all just about to leave and take some horses to go to the back country where there's even less federal jurisdiction there. And as he says that, Marshall Holt looks over and sees the horses that the father was talking about, and he fires on them. And this pisses off the dad, so he tells the other members of the family that were hiding with weapons to fire. And that's where I'm going to stop it. I don't want to spoil anything else. So this is like the second Western I've read in the last week or two. Last week I did the review of Above Snakes, which was also a Western. And I got to say, I'm liking these new genre books that are coming out. This one in particular was very well written. And I liked the pacing of the story. I like how we see the marshal get to the town and learn about the murder. Then we see him go after the boy. Then we see the aftermath of that. Then we also see what potentially could have caused the boy to go crazy like that and kill someone for no reason. And from that reason, we actually learn about past deeds that were done by Holt and decisions that have led to this boy becoming a murderer. So it seems like there's a whole mythology that Scott Snyder has built into it that makes this a very interesting book within the Western genre. I thought the art was good. Dan Panosian is always a good artist, so this was no different. It does have a different look and feel than some of his other art. It seems a little bit more scratchy or unpolished, but not in a bad way. It just gives the book a grittier feel, which I think fits it nicely. So overall, I thought this was a really great story, a really fun read. It definitely makes you want to keep reading and find out what happens in the next issue. So I'm going to give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now, this book is a Comixology original book, so it's coming out in digital on Comixology first, but I do believe eventually it's going to be printed in issue form by Dark Horse. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for that to happen, but you could definitely get it on Comixology now. So if you saw anything you like, definitely go pick that up on Comixology or pre-order it at your local comic book store, and we will see y'all in the next one.